Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby with the Brown Book series. Let me tell y'all something. Let me just brag real quick about myself. So I started this game. I started this adventure because of this particular woman here. And I said, you know what, Shay? You're gonna start this thing in 2020. You're gonna start it off with a bang, and you're gonna finish it with a bang. So I started off with, of course, Beverly Jenkins, just to get my, get solidify how we get down here. And now I'm finishing it with New York Times and USA Today's best-selling author, my auntie, y'all, Miss Brenda Jackson.
Hello, everyone. Finally, Shay.
Auntie, don't be doing that.
I'm not going to talk about how many deadlines I've had to do since we talked about this.
I know, but see, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let her do her thing, and then we'll come at the end, because I needed to make sure that I was able to read Garth. I need to make sure I was able to read everything that you brought on this year. So I was patient.
And I brought on a lot. I think I had 6 books out this year.
Yo, you got down this year, auntie. You got down.
I kept busy. This pandemic was not going to wear me out. I wore it out.
Let me tell you something. You wore it out, and you wore me out in the process, baby. Yes, you did.
Hey.
I'm here for all of it. Now, auntie.
Yes.
I'm always getting in trouble, and you know that.
Oh.
So, yeah, and so it's a lot of shenanigans we do over here at the Brown Book series. Are you ready for the bull?
Am I ready for the what now?
For the shenanigans that we about to do.
Oh, I guess.
You think
do I need something more than just coffee in here?
Well, yeah, just a little Bailey's might do you well. Just a little bit.
Okay.
I be calling it shenanigans, and one of the other authors was like, Shay, bring on the bull. I'm like, it's the bull. I mean, I try.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Okay. But unlike them, you my auntie, so you can fuss at me later on, but I'm gonna be good.
Okay. I'll fuss at you later on.
Later on. All right. First up, before we get all up in your business.
Okay.
You want that Bailey's now, don't you, auntie?
Yes. Got to have something stronger than Bailey, okay? Okay.
Because we're gonna get all up in your business, not too much, because you've had your career has just been beautiful. You're celebrating 25 years now in the business. So I feel like everyone knows a lot about you already.
Okay. I go along with that. I can say yep.
Yeah.
No secrets.
No secrets, no nothing. You're a rock star.
Oh, please. I don't think of myself as a rock. I really don't. I just think of myself as someone. I see those eyes, Shay. Your eyes say everything when you no, but I really don't. I think of myself just as someone who was blessed to have the love of my life.
Yes.
For 40 some years, almost 50 years. And I just believe in romance, and I just want to write romance stories. That's all.
Now that brings us to our first question.
Okay.
For us who are, married and struggling, you said over 46 years. I was trying to get through 46 days. So I'm trying. How did you do that? Like 46 years.
Oh God, probably. I think it was longer than, because we dated 5 years while we were in high school.
Yeah, I heard that you jumped on his handlebars, honey.
Yes. He had a motorcycle. So, I dated Gerald from the time I was 14. And I got married at 19. So we were together for 5 years before we even got married. We were together. Boyfriend, I never had Gerald is my only boyfriend. I'm sure when I was in elementary school, I might have liked the guy that sat across from me, or how. But when I figured that I knew what love was, when I got in the 8th grade, Gerald was it. I mean, He was so good looking. He was he had the most gorgeous legs and shorts. I mean, all the things that was important to me as a 14-year-old boy. And he had his own set of wheels. He had a motorcycle because he was 2 years older than I was. So at 14, when I was 14, he was 16.
Okay.
And for his 16th birthday, his grandmother bought him a motorcycle. And his mom knew he had wanted one. And she told him he could not have one. Absolutely not. But his grandmother, behind his mom's back, bought it for her grandson anyway. And she hid it in her garage at her house. So after school every day, he went to his grandmother's house to ride his motorcycle, and then he would put it back up at night. And he had it for a good year before his mom even found out.
Are you serious?
Yes. And you know how she found out he had it?
How?
He got hurt on it.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't get hurt real bad, but he got hurt where he had to walk for the next few days like, I'm hurting. And she said, Girl, why are you walking like that? What is wrong with you? And so he said, just my back hurt. So when she took him to the doctor, and the doctor said, oh, you got a scar from here. Where did you get it from? And that's when he had to say, from my motorcycle. She said, what motorcycle? Motorcycle. And he did. So mom and grandmom, they were like, and she said, I'm through with it. So his mom let it. She threatened to sell it, give it away, but the grandmother say, no, that was my gift to him. So he needs to keep it. So he kept it.
And we can't go against the grandmamas.
No, we can't go against grandma.
Can't go, honey, because my grandmother's died.
I got a lot of rides on me a motorcycle at 14, at 15, at 16. Yeah, he had them until he got his car. Then when he got his car, he kind of put the motorcycle aside for a while.
That's what's up. See, that is just that love. Like, maybe I need to buy mine a motorcycle then. You think this?
Huh? Well, for our wedding gift, you always exchange wedding gifts. When you get married, that's why in my book, the guy always buy the girl a wedding gift, and the girl always buy the guy. For a wedding gift, I bought him a motorcycle.
Okay, I didn't know. Let's see. Okay, check this out. Because for my wedding gift, he bought me a car. I didn't know I was supposed to buy him something.
Yeah. That would have been nice, Shay.
I didn't know he was
have that. Now, see, for my wedding gift, I did not get a car. You gotta, even though, see, Gerald wasn't expecting the motorcycle,
right?
The big, gift from me. So for my wedding gift, I just got a regular trip. Aside from the honeymoon, we planned another trip. So that was my wedding gift. I didn't want anything material. I just, me, I like to make, I like the moment. So yeah. So he knew I always wanted to go to this place, and he said, I'm gonna take you there for our wedding, but not for our honeymoon. Like our honeymoon, everybody went to Disney World, because Disney World opened up the year before we got married, that year. So the year after we got married, I'm sorry. So for our honeymoon, everybody went to Disney World, because Disney World was brand new in Florida.
Oh, wow. That's because you're in Florida.
Yeah. 2 hours away. So that was an easy honeymoon trip.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. So let me get out your business right there. You can tell me later on how, I can make it to over 40 some years, because
you can. I mean, you have to give and take. You have to learn how to compromise. It's not always your way. It's always together way. You have to do things together. It has to be a together way. Gerald and I were total opposites. I was always the outgoing, friendly, talk to everybody. And he was the one that reserved. Do you know that guy? You know that girl? Why are you so friendly? Because that's just my personality. I'm just a friendly person.
Yes.
And so he accepted that about me. You know, it was just my way. I was just a friendly person. And I knew he was reserved. And I didn't expect him to be all bubbly like I was, you know. So you have to accept you got two different.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine if we would have had the same personality.
Me either. Yeah. Because
You
me
know,
and him are totally opposite as well. He's more reserved.
opposite attracts.
Yeah.
But there is a reason you're opposite. One complements the other.
This is true.
Yeah.
Look at you. Oh, a marriage life coach over there. Yes, auntie.
Hey, it takes what? How many? 40 some years, 42 years of marriage, and I still, even though he's gone, I still celebrate my anniversaries anyway.
Yeah.
You know, my anniversary continue. In fact, in 1922, I would have been married, or I will be married for 50 years. So yeah.
Oh, 2020. That's what's up, man. God, that's awesome. So I hope when I get to that whole. Oh, I'm just trying to get to 10. It's gonna be 9. So once I get to 10, I think I'll, ease up a little bit.
God. We have to talk, Shay.
Pray for me. Okay. We have one segment in our series called Name That Book.
Name that book? Oh, yeah. Gosh. Now it's my book?
It's your books. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, gosh. Now, I've written over 100 and some novels.
I know, Auntie. You're going to have to try and name a couple of them, girl. So let me tell you, I'm going to give you either a character or I'm going to read a passage or something that's related to that book, and you have to name that book.
Okay.
I
remember, I'm 7 years old. My memory is not as good as it used to be.
Honey, your memory as good as you look right now, baby, because you look fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look, I'm just letting you know in advance, Brenda Woodbury is the moderator for your book club. She's going to be yelling, Brenda, no, that's this book. Put my glasses on.
Brenda knows my book. Brenda knows the kids that were born. She knows all of that stuff.
I love it.
Brenda Woodbury, I adore her. I appreciate her so much because she frees up my time so I can write. And people need to know that because when I say, Brenda, did so-and-so have a baby yet? She knows it. No, they was pregnant in that book. Okay.
So sorry. I love it. All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Name that book. He would be the first to admit it. It could get kind of lonely up here on this mountain when he'd first decided to purchase this huge peak of land that nearly touched the Montana sky.
Corey Westmoreland.
Corey's Mountain.
Corey Westmoreland, that's Corey's Mountain. I had no intentions of writing Corey's story.
Yeah, but
when I wrote Stone's book, and Madison was trying to find her mom, readers wrote me and said, we want Corey's story. And I'm like, okay, which I knew he had a story because I wouldn't have written whatever. I just had no plans to write it.
Right.
And so that's what I did. I did Corey's Mountain. I went back. And so it became the book that you needed to read before Stone book.
Right.
So that way you knew why Madison was looking for her mom when you got the Stone book. So yeah.
All right, Corey. You're doing great, girl. You're doing great.
Thank you.
All right. Next one. Name that book. Dr. Logan Montgomery is convinced he fell in love with Claire when he first met her 3 years ago, thanks to his brother Lance, who married Claire's younger sister, Asia.
At long last.
At long last.
At long last.
I love Logan. I thought he was just so cool. I loved him.
I love Logan. It took me a while to write his book because the books that I write under Medeiros Publishing, they're my books that I write under that's my publishing company.
Right.
But I just can't decide to write them. I have to squeeze them in as I write books. I have to fulfill my contract for Harlequin. They're my exclusive editor. I don't write for any other publisher other than Harlequin.
Oh.
And we got an agreement that, we don't mind you having your own publishing company. We don't want you, first of all, to compete against us with time, which is only fair.
Right.
We don't want to know that you owe us a book. We're expecting a book from you, and you somewhere in La La Land writing a book for your company.
Right.
Now, if you squeeze one in between when you give us ours, then we're okay with it. As long as when our deadline comes, our book is in our basket.
I got you.
And that's only fair. So what I do, I make sure I find out when I'm due for a Harlequin book, when I need to have their book. Then I see whether I have enough time to squeeze one of my own on the table. The problem happens when, even though I have a certain word count for Harlequin, because you have to have a word count, like my Desire books are 55,000 words.
Oh.
My Catalina Cove books are anywhere from 80 to 90,000 words. What happened is, but when I'm telling a story, sometimes I get carried away because I'm so into my characters.
We love when you get carried away too.
That I have to say, okay, Brenda, I just can't cut it off. I have to finish the book. And then when it's time to edit the story, then I'll decide what I can take out. But usually I think, no, if I said everything needs to go.
Right.
Sometimes I'll look and say no. Like, for instance, Catalina Cove. Catalina Cove was supposed to be 90,000 words, 80 to 90,000 words. That book ended up close to 160,000.
Yeah.
But you know what they did? Because I told two stories. I told Vashti and Sawyer's story, and I told Kagan and Bryce's story, all in one book. And when Harlequin got it, they say, no, this 2 books. Let's do Love in Catalina Cove with just Sawyer and Vashti. Then let's do Bryce and Kagan's story in their own book. So that's what happened. Why they had separate books. But I was putting everybody's story together.
That's up. I'm glad you changed it though. You made it 2. So that's cool.
I made it 2. Yeah.
Our next name their book. You're gonna get this one. This is easy.
Okay.
Justin Medeiros.
Tonight and Forever.
Tonight and Forever.
That was my very first book. So you know, and when people ask me, what's your favorite book? That's it, because it's my baby. It started it all. So that's my baby.
I love that book. I mean, those brothers, I love. Dex is my favorite though.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Dex was just him and Caitlin.
Dex was just Dex. And I was just surprised that so many people fell in love with Dex, because Dex was a character.
Yeah.
He was as serious as a heart attack. And it seemed like, and the same thing with Thorn. It seemed like some women gravitate to my bad boys and Bane. You know, I have one in every family, and women gravitate to those bad boys. And why do you think that is, Shay?
Girl, I look, I don't know about them, but I like old bad boy, honey. Yes, I love it. And Dex did it for me.
Oh my goodness.
To this day, Dex did it for me. Okay, and speaking of your books, we have a new release that just came out.
Yes.
The new release that just came out. The Wife He Needs.
Yes.
The book of Garth Outlaw.
Yes.
Oh my God. So first of all, the Westmorelands are, out of all your series, The Westmorelands is my favorite. I like the Madeiras too, but the Westmorelands, I don't know. It's just maybe
They had to be different. They had to be different because I was so into the Madeiras.
yeah.
When Desire approached me to start a whole new series of books for them, they wanted the first book to be the sheep book,
Mhm.
which you know it was, Delaney.
Yeah.
Well, I had my own sheik. I said, well, I got a sheik that's in the Madeiras book that I hadn't written about, Sheik Valdemar,
Mhm.
Rashid Valdemar.
Yes.
And they say, no, let us explain something to you. We want your Madeiras and your Westmorelands not even to be on the same page. I'm
Mm.
like, okay. They say we want the Westmorelands to be totally different than your Madeiras. I'm like, what do you mean? We want them to be all alpha males. Because the Westmoreland, I mean, Madeiras, Justin was an alpha. He was beta.
Yeah.
He was the sweet.
He
Dex was all beta. I mean, alpha.
Yes.
And women like alpha.
Yeah.
So all my Westmorelands are mostly alpha male. They're the take charge, domineer. They're my alpha. And that's how they wanted them. So, and women like alpha males. So that's why I think the Westmorelands are the favorites of a lot of people. Plus, some of them are cowboyish, like, you know.
Hey.
The Atlanta's not so much because the Atlanta's Westmoreland was more professional men.
Right.
But when I went to Denver and I pulled out Westmoreland country, then they became the cowboy type. And you would not believe how my readership grew. I went to a book signing in Denver and I walked in. I'm like, you sure this is my book signing? They say, not but 5 Black women in line. Everybody else were Caucasians, white women, Asians. Therefore, the Westmoreland. And then I'm like, okay, I got, I mean, a crossover group I did not even expect. But they say we read Desires and we love your Westmoreland.
Wow. I love the West.
Yes.
I love the Westmoreland. So, and when you introduced the other cousins, the outlaws, I've been waiting forever, it seems, for Garth Outlaw.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Can you tell us a little bit about the book without giving a full-blown spoiler? Just a teensy bitsy. I done read the book, girl, and I'm like, look, I cannot wait until Miss Brenda put up a spoiler room so I can just go in there and just go crazy.
Yeah.
Tell us something about Mr. Garth.
Garth is a professional. He's CEO of Outlaw Freight Lines, and he's very responsible. And he lost a girlfriend, you know, a fiance, really, in death. So he has to get over that. But I put him with the perfect person, and that was Reagan Fairchild. And Reagan is the corporate pilot. She took over when her father retired. And I've hinted at twice in other books that Reagan would be who Garth falls in love with. If anyone read Bailey's story,
I'm trying to remember that, girl.
Bailey, when he went to, and he opened the door for Bailey and invite Bailey into Walker's house when she arrived, and he mentioned that he, you know, that Reagan had the plane ready for him to fly out. That's when I first mentioned, and it said that she had taken over for her father. So Reagan,
I remember that now.
And then in the last book, which is whose book was last? Duty or Desire.
That's what
Duty and Desire. That's Pete Higgins, Sheriff Higgins' story. His wife, the girl that he married, mentioned to him, say, "Are you sure they're not?" He say, "No, that's his pilot." Because they were dancing together. He picked up in the epilogue in the last book, Duty or Desire, just how right they look for each other. And Pete was saying, no, nothing there. That's his pilot. I'm like, yeah, that's what you think. It's something. And Brenda Jackson finna tell you what's there.
But she took him on some flights, all right.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna tell you the plot, how they get together.
Yes.
But it's, I think, I listened to it on audio for the first time last week.
No.
Very good on audio. I got a really good person to do the audio.
Now let me just say this, Auntie. The person let me tell you, because at first I was thinking about audibles and all that, and I'm like, I can't. A certain person has to talk to me for me to get it. Baby, when I put my headphones on and I lay down and eat and run, Butler is speaking to me. Him and what's the other one, Pete Ohms. They can literally just recite the ABCs to me, and I'm all in. Can you not ever change them to? I love them reading your books.
Yes. And a couple of women have asked me, say, will you ever get any females to read? I'm like, yeah, but I like to hear. And I go to sleep at night with my television on. If you got Amazon Fire, is Amazon Fire?
I think it's Fire, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, on television, you can get audio on your television. You just the book cover is almost as big as your screen, and you hear the sound. So I go to bed at night with some book being read to me. When I wake up in the middle of the night, of course, it's past where I fell asleep at, so I know where to go back to. But I see that that book cover right there. So I hear that voice speaking to me, and I don't know, at some point when I fall asleep, but I fall asleep with that person just calming, Ron Butler voice, or the Pete Ohms voice, or whatever book. And I read a lot of my books because that's the only time I get to read my books. I don't have time once I write the book to go back and read the book.
Right.
So I have to go back unless I'm about to write the sequel to it.
Then you have
to read that book. But other than that, I like the book being read to me because I don't have time to just sit there with a book in my hand. I have to listen to it while I'm moving around. So audio is the best thing.
I'm telling you, I went to sleep one night. Who was I? Oh, I love Mac and Terry's story. So I went.
That was my married couple, and again, that book, they didn't have a story.
Right.
I only had Harlequin wrote a special contract just for that story because I was going to write Vane, and Matt was one of Vane's teammates, but he was already married, so it was only supposed to be Viper, Flipper, and Cool. Matt wasn't even in the count for a book because I had married him off. He married off in the very beginning. The man had 4 kids.
Yes, girl, yes.
What was that to tell? I mean, y'all know what he been doing, but people fell in love with Matt because he always had a story to tell about his wife.
Yes.
You know how he came home and he wanted to be the man and she got things running. The girls would get away with stuff because they know dad is back and all of that. And I'm like, I wonder is this for real? So I talked to one of my readers whose husband was in the military for years. And she said, this is the problem we military wives face. They're out to sea, they're out to wherever. They come back. We done ran things for 3 and 4 and 5 months. They come back, want to be the king of the castle. You know, like, what you about this? Where the money go for this? So I said, So when readers said they wanted Mac's story, I knew exactly what problems to give them. You know, something that could be resolved, that needed to be resolved.
Right. It's real. I love that book. I just be rereading it, and I fell asleep one night listening to the Audible. I guess in the middle of the night, some kind of way. I don't know what happened, but I was talking about sleep, but I was calling him Mac. He said, "Baby, the only reason I didn't get mad because I knew you was listening to Auntie Brenda's book." I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Okay, don't get mad. You know, come on now. Matt already married. You know what I mean?" It's a mess. Okay, so The Wife He Needs came out December the 15th.
Yes.
So that you have not recently got this book, you have to get it. You have to get it because you're not going to know what's up with Cash and Sloan until you read about Garth.
Right.
And you know what? Quick question for you before I move on to our next segment. Their dad had, a lot of,
He got issues. He got issues.
Will he get a book too?
In every book, everybody know the dad. Well, maybe they don't know because they haven't really gotten into the story. Each one of those sons got a different mama. That's a joke in itself. And then he got a daughter who he just think the world, whatever, centers on this daughter he didn't know anything about. And her mama is the one that don't take any crap off him.
Right.
And she's the one that he wanted to marry. Asked to marry, she turned him down. So there may be, because I'm always asked to write older men stories.
Yeah.
So the dad is very good looking.
Yeah.
Very good looking. He just makes himself, when you read about him, you think he's a cranky old man that don't, but he looks good. And I'm gonna present a picture of how the dad looked. But when I revealed why, he's the way he is, that's, the mystery in itself.
Yes, that's what I'm waiting on. Yes.
The reason he's the way he is. And the brothers were going to hire this private investigator to find out. There got to be a reason dad just will not claim these Westmorelands. And it's obvious there was more. And they was wanting to find out, but Claudia, you're going to find out in future books, Claudia told them no. In time, your dad will explain. Don't let him what he feel influence you all, which they're not. They accepted the Westmoreland as cousins with or without dad.
They look just alike.
Yeah. And so dad and her thing is, there's a reason. I don't know the reason, but he know it. It's his. It's his reason. He'll tell it. Don't invade his privacy. Something that should be real obvious to him. Evidently, something happened that he's not ready to deal with. Don't force him to deal with it. That's why they called off the investigation. Because readers say, would they investigate what? Because in Walker's book, they decided we're going to hire a private investigator to find out what's wrong with dad. But no, they decided not to.
I cannot wait until we get, I can't wait to find out what happened. Oh my God. Okay, like I said, we're not going to get too much of it because I don't want Miss Brenda Woodbury mad at us. Hey, Miss Brenda. Okay, so we have another segment in the Brown Book series called Who'd You Rather?
Who I rather?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Who I rather? Okay.
Who'd you rather? If you had to choose one of these dudes, honey, who'd you rather take home, Auntie? You ready? Okay. Who'd you rather? Dare Westmoreland or Sawyer Grisham?
Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. Both are sheriffs.
Yep.
You so bad.
I know.
Oh, gosh. And I can't take but one.
But one.
I would take Dare.
I would take Dare too. I love Dare.
I would take Dare. I just love Dare. I mean, I love Sawyer too, but I just love Dare. I got to know Dare more because Dare had all his siblings and he always said, if I was a gambling man, but I'm not a gambling man, so I fell in love with Dare because I spent more time with Dare than I have with Sawyer.
Okay. I love it. Okay. So I would pick Dare too. Okay. Who'd you rather? Now, okay, this one right here, I know who I picked, but I want to know who you're going to pick. Okay. Who would you rather? Sir Drake Warren or Bane
You
Westmoreland?
are so bad. I don't think I can handle Sir Drake. I'm gonna take Bane. Okay, I'm gonna take Bane, and I'm gonna tell you, Bane is my go-to book. Bane is my go-to book. I listen. If I had to say what book of mine I've listened to more than any book, it's Bane.
It's Bane.
When
Okay.
I'm having a rough day, I go to chapter 21. I start at chapter 21 at Bane. And maybe it's 20 because you know when you do Audible, the
Right.
chapters are awesome.
Right.
Where she said, I feel safe. And he said, and why do you feel safe? She said, because I ain't here with anybody. I'm here with badass Bane. Then that started, okay? Then from there, I go through, and then I have to read about when he came up with those men. Like it's 2 against 1. Do you think you could handle us? He say, I know I can.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I give you the words. I read Bane. That's my go-to book.
Okay.
But Sir Drake, I can't handle. When I was writing Sir Drake book, I had to take a drink every so often. And and my husband said, "Here, get some beer. You need something, cause that man finna drive you crazy." Sir Drake, I couldn't handle Sir Drake. Think about Sir Drake was he was an explosion waiting to happen.
He's like it's like a suicide mission throughout the whole book.
Suicide bomber.
Yeah.
You know, he felt like he had no reason to live.
Yeah.
And my husband said, well, just write his book and make him happy. And believe it or not, when I was going to write Sir Drake book, the person I was going to put Sir Drake with was Cross' sister. Solomon Cross' sister was going to be who, but then you know what? But when I was getting ready to plot out the book, I called my pub, and she accepted. My publisher had accepted that synopsis. I say, you know what? Sir Drake cannot love anybody but Sandy Carroll. And she said, but the girl dead. You know, don't he need to move on? I'm like, some people can't move on.
Wow.
And my husband was alive when I said this, because I'm someone who basically, you know, as far as you love one person and that's it for you. That was your soulmate. And Sandy was his soulmate. And she said, you got 1 week to come up with a plot that's plausible for Sandy. Otherwise, we're going to go with Solomon Cross' sister like we originally planned it out.
Right.
Because he was going to go get the sister to get the Solomon Cross and then fall in love with her. But then he's going to end up having to kill a lady brother. So I'm like, that ain't going to work, you know. Because he had to kill Solomon Cross. So I said, no, he needs to get back with what if. And I always play the what if game. What if Sandy really not dead? And you can't tell me the government don't do stuff that we don't know about they can do.
Right.
And we don't all watch the $6 million man, okay? And the Bionic Woman. You know, we grew up on those two.
Yes, we did.
A man barely alive, you know, one of those.
Yes.
So doing that, and I used to love my Steve Austin.
And
David Summers. I love the Bionic Woman and the $6 million man. So I'm like, okay, she's going to become not a bionic, but she's just going to have faith. She's not going to have any supernatural powers. She's going to do what she did before, like she did before. She was good at what she did before.
Right.
But she's going to have a new face, a new set of boobs, whatever she needs. But he was going to eventually know something similar about this girl. He didn't figure it out.
I thought he was going to figure it out, though, because there was so many similarities. I thought he was going to figure it out. And then I thought that, what's the dude? I think, I thought he was his partner. the group members. I thought
Ashton,
he asked.
Ashton knew because he had seen her, come to the hospital. So he knew her face, but something, the vibes was telling him that, something ain't right. Who the hell are you? I
Yes.
know you. Who? And she say, I don't like this. I don't like, hell no, I don't still like okra.
Okra.
What?
Well, but I thought he was going to figure it out because it was a point where he was wake up in the middle of the night of like, yo, we got to call Sir Drake now. He's like feeling
Yeah,
something.
he knew something, but it wasn't for him to know yet.
Gotcha.
Ashton Powers sometimes will tell him things that they feel like he need to know.
Right.
Otherwise, when she came to that hospital room pretending to be the doctor,
Yeah,
he would have suspected something then. It wasn't for him to know then. It had to play out like it played out.
it played out, girl. Okay. So you say you gonna do bang? Look, you gonna do bang? You ain't gonna do
I'm
something.
gonna do bang because I can handle bang.
Okay. All right. Next up, who'd you rather? Jace Granger or Orrin Jeffries?
Oh my gosh. Hmm.
Mm.
Because Orrin is more my age, I'm gonna do Orrin.
Orrin, oh God.
Now, if you would have said Shepherd Granger, I was
Now,
going for Shepherd.
I thought about it, but I was like, she might like a little young thing every now and then. Let me, let me mix this thing up.
Orrin. I like Orrin. I like Orrin because, when push came to shove, Orrin, hey, he said, my daughter, I bring her here for you. My daughter, if she want to be with Reggie, that's who she gonna be with.
Yeah, I liked Orrin. I'm gonna prepare Orrin against old Jason. Okay, last up.
Okay.
You already know who I'm about to pick, but I want to see who you gonna pick because I was kind of torn.
Oh my God.
Who'd you rather? Dex Medeiros or Sebastian Steele?
Oh God. I'm sure you picked Dex Medeiros, but I'm going to pick Sebastian Steele. And the reason, because I know Dex in and out, okay? And I'm still trying to figure out why everyone fall in love with Dex. So I'm going to pick Sebastian Steele because I want to get to know more about Sebastian. So Sebastian Steele is my guy. Plus a guy who had a desk at school that say he never comes to school intrigues me. So it's going to be Sebastian Steele. Now you got to tell me who you rather it be, because I have a feeling you rather for it to be Dex, right? Did we lose you or did you lose me? Well, while we're waiting on Shay to come back, let me tell you more about this book without giving a lot of it away. The Wife He Needs, as you know, just in case you don't know who the outlaws are, you have Garth Outlaw. I'm going by the age. You have Garth Outlaw. Then you have Jessup, who's we call Jess Outlaw. He's the senator. Then you have Cashen, Cashen, and we call Cashen Cash Outlaw. And then we have Sloan, and I'm writing Sloan book now. And then after Sloan book, we have Maverick. That's the youngest boy, youngest son. And then after Maverick book, then we Have Charm. Now, you probably heard Shay ask whether I will write a book about the father. That it depends. It depends on what my readers want. Because if my readers say, yeah, we want the dad's book, then yes, I will write a story about the dad. Other than that, yes. Shay's still not bad with it. I guess I'm gonna have to just take over this program because Shay is dropped out. So let me talk about another book I have coming out this month. And it is a book called The Bennett's Christmas. If you read The Bennett's Wedding, then you know about The Bennett's Christmas. The Bennett's Wedding, about four cousins or three cousins, two sisters, two cousins living under the same roof. And in Bennett's Wedding, I told you about two of the cousins' stories. And so now I'm telling you about two of the sisters' story. So, look like Shay is back, girl. I took over. Shay is back, y'all. Don't tell her what I said about her while she was gone.
Let me tell you. Oh my God.
Oh, you gone again?
No, can you hear? Can you see me?
I could see you, but while I couldn't see you, something on my thing say you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you.
Yes.
So I guess that was meant for me to keep talking. So I just took. Oh, I thought, well, Shay gone. I'm gonna keep talking.
You know what? That's why you're my auntie. You know we up here in Massachusetts, right? It was a whole storm, like blizzard going on.
Oh,
And then, sometimes the power went, sometimes the power went. I was like, oh my God. But hey, so which one did you pick?
Sebastian.
You picked Sebastian.
I say I know you picked Dex, but I picked Sebastian.
And you told them why you picked Sebastian.
The reason because I want to get to know Sebastian. Remember, he was the one that never went to school.
That never went. Yeah.
You know, he cut school all the time, and I put him with who I thought he would be fit with. But I want to get to know Sebastian more.
You are a rock star. You know what? This happened to you one other time.
Huh?
This happened to you one other time, and you just stepped in and did your thing.
I just stepped in. I said, well, I don't know what happened to Shay, but, and then I get quiet. I said, well, Shay not back. Let me tell you, I've told them about the outlaw. I named all the brothers, the sisters. I told them about the book. I was telling them about the book that's coming out on Christmas Day, which is the Bennett's Christmas. I even was telling them that. Then you showed back up.
Let me tell you something. See, that's why you're a rock star. You need to have this is all evident. You just need to have your own thing. You just need
No, I just need to write. That's what I was telling Bobby. I'm doing this movie thing with Bobby Smith.
Yes. We
And he said, when can I get you out here to Hollywood? I said, Bobby, all I want to do is write. I want to be able to write. I want to be, you got it out there. Okay, well, you asked the questions. You're on that now. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, because you was getting into it. So that's what I'm saying. See, you got me. We right here. You right here.
We there.
I love it. So yes, you and Bobby Smith Jr.
Yes.
You got this new production company going on where you just producing black romance movies, and like, how did that come about?
Oh gosh, Bobby and I met a good 8-9 years ago. I was out in LA for a Motown review where I met, and I was there because I met Berry Gordy. It was like Motown some anniversary, like 40th anniversary or something.
Right.
And it was being taped live. And I met, and a friend of mine that lives in LA know how big I am into Motown.
Mm-hmm.
So she surprised me when I got there. She said, we got tickets to this Motown review, and you're going to be sitting at the table with Berry Gordy, Frida Payne, Holland Dozier, and Holland. She was naming all these people that Holland Dozier, the writers, for my girl. And she said, you're going to be sitting with Smokey Robinson.
Oh, baby.
And I'm like, whoa. So we were sitting, we were not sitting at their table, we were sitting around them. Okay.
Okay.
So I got to take pictures with everybody. I got to take pictures with Smokey, Claudine, who was his ex-wife, one of the only female that was part of the Miracles. And so that's how I met Bobby. And so we exchanged cards. Like, you always have your business card.
Right.
Because you never know who may find it later and decide, let me keep up with this person and see what they're doing. So basically, Bobby looked me up like in 2016, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Hollywood asked me, did I know anyone who write romance? Because they're looking for nice stories, whatever. And they were interested in the Grangers. The only thing and the reason that I didn't do that, because they wanted to make the Grangers white.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm like, no. And so Bobby say, no. So I agree. Say, Black love is what we need to concentrate on. And there will come a time that people want to embrace Black love. And then Passion Flick came on the scene and everything. So then I got a call from Bobby a year ago. And he asked, I think it's time for us to do this. He said, for us to combine forces, you write the books and, I got my, hand right in Hollywood because I think it's going to happen. So he said, well, people need to know that this is going to be a Black-owned entity.
Right.
To start out with. Who know more about Black love than Black people? Don't tell us Black love need to go.
Right.
So that's why we decided and we made rules. Okay, I don't want all the movies to be about me. I want to be able there. And I even tell people, and that's why sometimes that's a whole nother story about other authors that think that I just want it to be about me because that's not me.
Right.
It's not me. When I know when people read me, I'm not the only author they read. I shouldn't be the only author they read. There are too many other good authors out there,
Right.
So my thing of it is, and that's why me and Brenda Woodbury got this agreement on Monday, showcase other authors.
I love that you do that.
Readers write me and say, when is your next book? I'm waiting on your next book. No, you ain't got to wait. There are other author books you need to be reading while you waiting on me. Don't put so much pressure on my book.
Right.
There are other good authors out there that tell romance stories even better. Have you given your chance time? Have you given yourself a chance to read their stories? And so, so it's not all about me. So anyway, and that was what I told Bobby. He said, well, we want, you could do my books and I want you to do my books in the movies, but I want to be able to
mix it up.
Other authors and business-minded authors, professional authors.
Yes.
I ain't got time for craziness. Okay?
No, we don't.
I don't have time for crazy. This is Hollywood, okay? Right. And so already we've hooked up with 3 major studios in Hollywood that's waiting on stuff, So the first of the year, me and Bobby gonna, take the ground run with it. They already got my stuff that they're looking at. So sometime in the spring, what I have to do is do what I need to do,
Right.
Do what my goal is to bring in other authors. And I'm just happy that Hollywood is embracing this. Maybe it was the George, what happened with our guy, with the movement and all of that. But whatever it is, Hollywood is looking for Black material. And if I could be the conduit that helps other authors, because I've had books made in the movies.
Right.
It's like, and I'm going to continue to have books made in the movies.
Right.
I have my own film company. Me and Iris Bowling was already getting ready to do Unfinished Business. So it's not like I'm doing something that I haven't done before.
Right.
I'm doing it now on a granular scale. I don't have to worry about who's financing it because I know now who's going to finance it, ahead of time. Because Bobby is working already, got things lined up. I want to give other authors that same exposure that I've got. And it's going to be a wonderful venture, and I'm looking forward to it.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So everyone, please make sure everybody's have to go to your website and just follow you on social media, follow you everywhere. Because when you first do this, when you do this first movie up on your own production thing, you and Bobby, I'm gonna be here for all of it.
Yeah, and most people remember Bobby from Jason Lyrics. If
Yeah.
they ever heard Jay, and now Bobby is doing Disney. He just got a big deal with Disney. He
Mm-hmm.
got a big feature film. So Bobby is hot out there. For him to partner with me is just wonderful. I mean, we work so well together. Because he believes in Black love. I got someone who wants Black love, understand Black love, and supporting me and getting more than my books out there. Don't get me wrong. My books will be out there, okay?
Right.
They're out there. They're the ones, they're Hollywood. And that's what I had to do. Okay, you can have so many of my books, but I would like to bring on other authors. And so, I got a list of authors, but like anything else, it's a wish list. It's a list. I just have to make sure, like I say, got to make sure I'm bringing on professionals, people that, and I will give all the criteria I'm looking at. The books have to be readily available. We don't want your books. We want the movie rights to your book.
Your books, gotcha.
So writers often need to make sure they have 100% of their movie rights to their books. If they don't, then they need to make sure, see how they can get them. Because a lot of publishers have the book rights and the movie rights. So they need to be not going into deals where they don't have the audio rights or the movie rights. I don't want the audio rights. The audio rights is for them to put their books in audio so other people to listen to it. What we need is movie rights, right? Because without a movie rights, we can't make anybody movie. And see, I got the movie rights to not all of mine, but the majority of my books. I have the more that I don't. I have the movie rights to.
Look at you giving them a little master class real quick. So for you authors out there, make sure you got your movie rights, Hanty, because if not.
And if you have a publisher that don't give you your movie rights, then that could be a deal breaker.
Right.
For you. But if you're not worried about it, then I wouldn't be worried about it. Some authors don't want their books made in the movie, or they're not worried about it. But Hollywood is not going to share. The only person they will share a profit with for your movies is the author. Okay, right. They're not going to do it to the publisher just because so you don't want. And some authors don't care if the publisher and someone make a movie out of that, but you'll get cut out of earning anything off that movie.
Right.
Yeah, you may sell more books because your book's made in the movie, but my thing of it is you would want to make money off that movie as well.
Got you. Okay. We're gonna go over to our next segment. We're winding down the interview.
Okay.
You've been awesome. I just love you. We have another segment called What's in a Name?
What's in a name?
What's in a name? I've interviewed a couple of authors, and they say that they have to think of the character first, and then they can get a name. And some have said we think of the name first, and then we can build the character from the name. So for you, I'm going to give you a couple of names from your books, and you let me know, did you think of the name first, or did you think of how the character would be first?
Okay.
Got it? All right. What's in the name? First up, Ashton Sinclair.
When I came with Ashton, I thought of the name. I think I thought of them at the same time because I can't write a book without having a name for my character.
Okay.
And my books are not plot driven, they are character driven books. I know my character before I know what plot I'm going to put them in.
Okay.
I created, when I was writing Fire and Desire, I could just, it's like when I write, everything is like a movie in my head.
Right.
From sitting down to the computer and my eyes are closed, really, because I could type, because, I had to take typing in school, so I don't have to look what I'm typing. I'm in what I call my movie world. And when I could see him taking his ring off, giving it to that little boy, say, take this to Colonel Ashton Sinclair. That was the first time Ashton name came to me. And it came to me, Ashton, all of it, Ashton Sinclair. I got a picture of how Ashton Sinclair looked at that moment. I knew he was going to be half Indian, half African, everything. He was going to have long hair. And I'm like, is that legal? Could he really have long hair as an Indian? And I knew it really was because I had visited Indian reservation and said that their hair was protected. And that if they joined the military, which a lot of Navajos and all of them joined the military, they didn't have to cut their hair. So all of that.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when I write, I try to give you history lessons in my story, but not fall down in history lessons. So you can say, okay, when's she going to get to the big good stuff? But I want you to know that his hair is their hair, unless the laws change, and we know in the last 4 years anything could have gone down. Normally, Indians' hair was protected by law. They did not have to get a little crew cut. Okay.
I love it. Okay, so it's
Ashton. I knew Ashton.
Okay. Now the next one. I think I asked you about this when we was at KissCon. What's in a name? Vashti? How you say her last name?
Vashti Alcindor. Alcindor is from the girl that be on CNN. Yamish. Remember, I was sitting there one night. I knew Vashti, just didn't know her last name.
Oh.
Vashti Alcindor. Yamish, remember, over the last 4 years, your president been giving her so much trouble. So I love the name Alcindor. And then we had Lou Alcindor, who changed his name, basketball. Yeah. So Alcindor has always been a favorite last name of mine. Vashti is my sister's mother-in-law name. She passed away earlier this year. But Vashti is in the Bible.
Yes.
Vashti was Queen Vashti that got replaced by Rachel. Not Rachel, but she got replaced. I can't think of who she got replaced by in the Bible. She was a queen that thought she was all of that. Her husband replaced her with somebody else in the Bible.
Ooh.
Vashti name, they Google it, Vashti is in the Bible. And I love that name, Vashti.
I love that name too, Vashti. Okay. Yeah. Last one. Because these boys here, I just love.
Her name came first.
Okay. Her name came first. Okay. This one, last one. I love all their names. But this one, Xavier Kane.
Oh gosh. I love Xavier.
Me too.
I love Xavier. When I wrote Xavier, I already predicted that I was going to write Bachelor in Demand, where everybody's going to be U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So I knew that he was going to be the first one I write about, but I didn't want to be a U. For some reason, the guy that I knew I was going to write about, that I was going to introduce in the Steele book as a friend of Steele, the guy that married, one of the Steeles, Vanessa. I wanted to be Xavier because I knew this little boy, this young lady who worked with me, little boy, name was Xavier. And I love that name.
Me too. I was like, Xavier Kane.
Is
This
Xavier
sounds
Kane.
uh,
Sound important, impressive, doesn't it?
yes. When
Yeah.
I first read these series, not when I looked at it and noticed that all their names was going to be, the last of the alphabets. I was like, now the Y. What the name of the Y was going to be? But when you came with York Ellis, I was
I love it.
I was like, yeah, she did that. That was hot.
York. I
York.
love York. York Ellis. I love York.
I love it. All right. Now we're getting to the last question of the interview.
Okay.
First, before I do this last question, I just want to say thank you so much. You know,
I had a good time today.
everybody that knows me know. They be like, Shay, you. I'm like, girl, it's honey, give me Miss Brenda Jackson, this Beverly G. They're like, those your aunties. I said, yes, give me the aunties, honey. All day. I absolutely love you guys. Happy 25th anniversary, like 25 years in the business. Like that's just
Thank you. Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
All right, so our last question in this wonderful interview. I've been holding my breath the whole time. And thank you for stepping in. You know what I'm saying? But you always got my back anyway. But stepping in and doing the thing for me.
Okay.
When I win an Emmy for this interview, I give you like the co-host credit, the credits and stuff. All right.
You better wait to see what I said before you give me any credit now.
Oh Lord, yes, ma'am. You know I will. Okay.
Okay.
If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
Um, the greatest love story ever told.
Oh man.
Of all my love stories, I think a book about, because I can't write a book about my life unless I include Gerald in it. And I was thinking about, because this week, as you know, was the 7th year of his passing. So
Right.
this is a very difficult week for me. I started out difficult. But one thing Bobby asked me, he said, have you ever thought about writing a book about you and your husband's life? And I'm like, I don't know whether I could do it because, first of all, it's so many memories that we shared. And so I was giving him an example. I said that my husband was such a dedicated husband, a father. He was just dedicated to everything. He was just, he was just dedicated. And that's why I write my love stories. I'll never forget when I was 18, my mom died a month before I graduated from high school.
Oh, wow.
A month after I graduated from high school. And I was the oldest of 6 kids. So I knew the responsibility, and I was supposed to go to Tuskegee. We had plans. I had plans after high school to go all these places. And I'm like, no, I can't leave my dad here with 5 kids,
Right.
And the youngest one was 4 years old. I just couldn't.
Wow.
And my dad came up with, which I didn't know any of this at the time, but he remarried. He remarried like within a few months, and I was totally against it. And, so when they say marriage or conveniences, I know all about. He said, I need someone to take care of the kids. I'm like, yeah, no. I'm going to be here. He said, no, you're not, you need to have the plans, your mom, and I want it for you. And I say, no, so what my dad did, he got on the phone and he called Gerald. And me and Gerald were just dating. We're not engaged. We were not. Because remember, this is just a little over a month after I graduated from high school.
Right.
And he said, Gerald, I want you to come get Brenda. And Gerald said, come get her. And I'm only 18. He said, come get her. Gerald's at work because he was 2 years older than me. So he was at work. He said, come get her. What am I going to do with her? He said, you just need to come get her. And Gerald thought my dad was playing at first. And when he saw my dad was not playing, he said, "You really want me to come get her?" He said, "Yes. She's going to be packed up to leave when you get here."
Wow.
And Gerald, when he saw my dad, he said, "Okay." He said, "What you're doing," he made sure my dad understood this. He said, "What you're doing is giving me your daughter. You're giving me your daughter. When I come get her, I'm going to take her to her grandmother's house. And she's going to stay with her grandmother until I save what I need to save to marry her." He said, "But when I marry her, you won't be able to give her to me again. You will
Oh,
not be able to give, because you've given her to me now. You know how when you
right.
walk out, he said, you're giving her to me now, so you won't be able to give her to me again." And he did just what he said he was going to do. He came and picked me up. I was all packed up, ready to go. He took me, and he told my grandmother, he said, "I want her to stay with you," because he was still living with his mom,
Right.
bringing her here. He said, "In 1 year, I'm coming back for her, and I'm going to marry her and to put her in her own house. She would never want for anything again. And I've already told her daddy that we're going to have a wedding. He's invited to come, but he won't be giving her away because he's giving her to me now." And, um, you know, and Gerald, the day before we buried my mom, Gerald, that night, he bought me the ring because he wanted me to know that the next day, even though I was burying my mom, that he would always be there to take care of me. And so I became engaged that day, the day before he buried my mom. So I knew, I believed in him, and I believed that he would take care of me just like he told my dad that he would. And true to his word, in July of the following year. Now, my mom died the 4th of July in 2071. In 1971, my mom died. In July 8th of 1972, I had a big wedding, and my dad was not allowed to walk me down the aisle. He came. He knew what Gerald said, and he accepted that. And he was there, and he was happy for me. And everybody said, "Wait a minute, how your daughter getting married and you ain't walking her down the aisle?" And he told him just what Gerald. He said, "I knew that it would be this way, and I was okay with it. But
He
I
told them
want,
mind their business.
huh?
He told them to mind their business. Mind y'all business. Me and
Yeah,
Gerald got this figured out.
we got this. We got this." And so from then on, he did just what he said he would do, which was to take care of me. And I could not have asked for a better partner in life, a better partner that taught me 5 years of courtship, how a girl's supposed to be treated by a man,
Right.
and then all those years of marriage. So yeah, I mean, it would be the greatest love story. And that doesn't mean, I don't want people to think that we never disagree, because people say, "Did y'all?" Yes, we disagree. And we had time out. No, no, time out. But we would sit and talk about it, because we knew he never wanted to go back home to his mama. I never wanted to go home. I couldn't go home to daddy or my grandmama. So we're going to figure this out. We're going to work out whatever. And we decided not to have kids right away, because it says, get to know the two of you
Right.
before there become the three of you. We were married close to 6, 7 years before we had any kids. Remember, I was the oldest of 6. I
Right.
was still being babysitter. So I didn't want any kids right away. I'm like, I don't need any kids right away. So we got a chance to bond. Drove our kids crazy when we did have kids. We made sure they understand, don't even try to play us against each other.
Right. It's us against y'all.
It's going to be us against y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't even think it's not going to be, And so, yeah.
I absolutely love it. And that is a wonderful story to end this this show off with. You're awesome. I really appreciate you. I thank
When
you
I write romance, I write it from my heart.
You can tell.
Write it from I know. I have my own hero. For him to leave his job to come and pack me and walk me to the car and say, "Don't look back, baby, don't look back, just look forward.
What a
I'm
man.
gonna give you the best life that you could ever dream of, and you got to believe that." And I believe that, even though we didn't have nothing to start out with, because like I said, he took me to my grandmother's house. But I believed in love then. I believe in love now.
Ah, you know what? Everybody, Brenda Jackson, you're awesome. I absolutely love you. Your life story is just beautiful. I mean, God, you're just awesome. Continue to do you. You the best. Continue to do you. Everyone, please go check out. Go to Miss Brenda's website. Is it brendajackson.net, right?
.net, not .com. www.brendajackson.net.
Yes, go to her website. Go anywhere that they're selling her book. You have to get the man Golf Outlaw story. You have to go get it. And also, the Venice Weddings will come out on Christmas Day.
Venice
The
Christmas.
Venice Christmas. I'm sorry, we already had the Venice Wedding. The Venice Christmas will come out on Christmas Day. Brenda Jackson, thank you so much for joining the
Thank
Brown
you,
Series.
Shay. Thank you.
Finally, she came,
Time.
y'all.
Oh, I had a great time.
Thank
And you
you.
got to invite me back now.
Oh, definitely. She'll be back. I'm gonna announce it. It'll be an evening with the VJs, starring Miss Brenda Jackson and Beverly Jenkins. It's going down February 14th.
I love Bev. I love myself on Bev Jenkins. She is the sweetest.
Yes, she is. This is gonna be awesome. So you guys make sure you go. I'll be posting more information so you guys can register for this event because this is something you guys do not want to miss. It's going to be hilarious. Hilarious. Thank you.
You, Shay. Talk to you later. Bye bye, everyone.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book,